Let's make decisions off basketball and not based off our feelings. This is the road to 5K subs. If you're new to the channel, my name is Rashad Milligan. NBA, you should be ashamed of. You know, sometimes I hate being right. Like I legitimately hate being right sometimes. All I know is about Trey. I don't know anything else. I was at the Georgia State game. It was A&P night. I'll have a short coming on that. But yes. Let's get into it. Let me share this screen with y'all. All right. Let's get into it. All right. Western Conference, we have Kawhi Leonard. Okay. Oh, Steph made it. So Steph is the guy. Oh, there's not one. Oh, no. Not one Sacramento King became an all-star this year. Where's Sacramento right now? Hold on. Give me a second. Let me see this. It looks like we got a lot to talk about tonight. All right. Let's share the screen again. Sacramento's 5th in the West. Minnesota's number 1 in the West. And they got 2. They got their 2. Okay. All right. They got their 2. But, yeah. Wow. Okay. So Kawhi and PG got in. Kawhi got in. Kind of short on games. But, hey, it is what it is. Cat and Ant got to get in as number 1 seed. Book. If Book misses, that's the one I'm looking at. I'm looking at De'Aaron Fox there. I'm looking at Sabonis there as a wild card. I'm looking at some type of Sacramento Kings recognition right there. You know, the Kings disrespected year after year for real, just because I guess they've been bad for so long. But it's a new day, man. The Kings they deserve that respect. You guys know it. Sabonis has been an all-star a couple of years before. I think Fox might have been an injury replacement last year. You know it. Oh my gosh, and here we go. We predicted this. We literally predicted this. In the office today. Okay, let's do it. Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Brunson, Jaylen Brown. Front court is Jaylen Brown, Bam Adebayo, and Julius Randle. Maybe Banchero as a reserve. And Donovan Mitchell. Oh, my goodness. So early in the season, when All-Star voting first started, I had a compadre that works at Turner. He doesn't have a media vote, but he just works at Turner. And he would share with us his ballot. And each week, he'd come up with a new excuse to not give Trae Young his credit. And he's always been like, for some reason, he's from Atlanta, and he's a Falcons fan and a Braves fan, but with the Hawks, he's like extremely tough on them. And he's like, oh, they suck. What does that have to do with Trae Young being good? You know, they suck. All right, so it was the thing of defense, right? He starts playing defense. Oh, they're not winning. It's not his fault DeAndre Hunter can't get 15 points in the game. It's not his fault. DeJounte Murray, if you guys didn't know, you guys might be seeing how he's been playing ever since he's been on the trade block. But he kind of just disappeared offensively for like a month. He started off the season real hot. It looked like he was in argument to be the team's best player. Once again, for the second straight year. For the first 2 weeks of the season, it looked like DeJounte Murray was putting the Hawks in a position to have a debate on who was the actual team's best player. And the Hawks were one of the best teams in the league. They were one of the top teams in the power rankings. They looked really good. Then DeJounte Murray just disappeared for a month offensively. From like the end or the middle of November to about the middle part of December. He just disappeared. They put him on the trade block. The Hawks go on a losing streak. Jalen Johnson gets hurt. The Hawks go on a losing streak. And he goes on the trading block, then he starts playing better again because I guess he's on the trading block. He doesn't want to get traded, or he doesn't just like how he wasn't, his lack of value by the organization. That's what happened. That has nothing to do with Trae Young. You said defense, he started playing better defense. Then you came up with another excuse. Send us another excuse. Send us another excuse. It's ridiculous. Let's pull up this list again. Donovan Mitchell is not having a better season than Trae Young. Tyrese Maxey's not having a better season than Trae Young. If Banchero is your wild card, okay, I see if you want to just reward Orlando for being, Orlando for being a better team this year. I get it. I even get Mitchell if you just want Cleveland to have some representation in the game. There's no argument for Maxey over Trae Young. There's no argument for Maxey over Trae Young. The only thing Maxey does is score, and Trae does that better than him. So now what are we talking about? Anyways, my friend from Turner, he was showing us if there's any excuse to not have Trae Young on the ballot every single week. And I was telling them, they're like, why are you going so hard for Trae Young? Trae Young fanboy, da-da-da-da. I'm like, bro, this is literally just something I've seen firsthand. Trae has literally been undervalued and disrespected by all NBA votes, by all-star votes, by Team USA appearances over the past, I say about 3-4 years, where he's been playing at a crazy level, and people just discredit it for whatever reason. Maybe, like I said, because he used to do the foul thing and then not play defense, so people will discredit him from that, and people just come up with any reason to discredit this man. And it's absolutely mind-boggling. It's like, but it shows you the power of narratives. Once a narrative gets started in the NBA, it feels like there's no way you can shake it. And it's absolutely the most insane thing to me. Sacramento not getting one All-Star is absolutely nuts to me. The West is the West. Yes, Devin Booker is an amazing player, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Them jokers been around, floating around 500 all year. The Sacramento Kings are a top 5 seed. If you go and put Maxey in, anyways, like I'm saying, Turner guy. Some weeks it's Lillard. Some weeks it's Maxey. I said Trae is leaps and bounds above all those dudes. He's better than Brunson too, because at the time he's playing better than Brunson. I think they're probably kind of like close to even, but even then, Brunson ain't averaging no 10 assists a game. What are we talking about right now, man? Oh, my goodness. The only player in the top 20 scoring in the league that's averaging double digits is Trae Young. What are we doing here? We overcomplicate things and we give ourselves reasons to overcomplicate a simple game. Trae Young is an all-star, man. He's not even just an all-star. He's one of the top 15 players in the league, period, on either conference. He can even get a spot on the top 12 players in his conference. And he's a top 15 player in the entire league. What are we doing right now? What are we doing? And the thing is, these things affects his pockets. It affects his money. And it's not because he didn't play up to the level of all-star. It's because of politics, because people didn't like Trae Young for whatever reason. It's the saddest thing in basketball because it's happened year after year after year with Trae Young. Same thing on the West with De'Aaron Fox. In a lot of years, you could have been like, oh, Sacramento's a fringe playoff team. They're out the playoffs. Blah, blah, blah. They're a top 5 seed now. Neither Sabonis or Fox are represented. What are we doing? What are we doing, bro? Politics. And the coaches vote on the reserve so we can have a more mature and more accurate representation of what actually is going on. The fans got it right. The fans had a better vote than the coaches this year. The coaches and the media didn't have Trae second. The fans had Trae second. The coaches and the media didn't even vote for Trae. Only Trae got one media vote. What Trae Young is doing is not normal. And it shouldn't be taken for granted the way it's taken for granted. It's the same way of a James Harden. James Harden also snubbed once again this year. But you can get it because it's the West. The West is mad crowded. It's not like the same last year when James Harden was snubbed. And Philly in the East just like Trae Young. But we don't value, I'll say it like this, we don't value Russell Westbrook the way we should have in this generation. We don't value James Harden the way we should have in this generation. And now we don't value Trae Young. I don't get it. And why is Luka a stat stuffer? James Harden is a stat patter. Luka's a stat patter. Trae Young stat patter. But when Trae do it, it's not accepted. I don't get it, bro. I don't get it, bro. People nitpick with arguments and try to point out arguments to me and stuff that's wrong. People just don't get basketball. People be too eager to hate. What are we doing to the beauty of our game, bruh? Trae Young is on pace right now in Atlanta to have less All-Star appearances than Joe Johnson. All due respect to ISO Joe. Joe's got 7. He might have 8, but I think it's 7. Trae might end up with less All-Star appearances than Joe Johnson because of whatever political reason you don't like him. He got coaches fired and the coach is going to vote against politics. Stuff that don't have nothing to do with basketball, man. What are we doing right now, bro? This is bad day for the game. In terms of the NBA, we'll get to the WNBA. It's a great day for the WNBA. Bad day for the game of basketball on the NBA side, bro. Shame NBA. Shame Adam Silver. Shame all the coaches. Shame all the coaches, man. Go down the line. Rick Carlisle. Shame Tom Thibodeau. Shame Eric Spoelstra. Shame whoever coaching the Hornets now. Shame Washington just fired their coach. Didn't they just fire their coach? Wes Unseld Jr. Shame whoever is left in the East. Doc Rivers. We throwing Doc Rivers in there. What are we doing right now, bro? What are we doing right now? All right. I knew it was going to happen, and I knew it was a possibility of tonight happening. This is absolutely ridiculous and sad. Sad day for the game of basketball. Anyways, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. NBA, stop using politics for a reason to stop a grown man from getting his money that he deserves, that he's earned on the court. And let's make decisions based off of basketball and not off our feelings. Let's make decisions off basketball and not based off our feelings. This is the road to 5K subs. If you're new to the channel, my name is Rashad Milligan. NBA, you should be ashamed of yourselves. You should be ashamed of yourselves. On Black History Month too. Stop it. It must be because Trae Young's mixed. Is it because Trae Young has a white mama in his Black History Month? Is that the reason why? What are we doing right now? What are we doing right now? Shame on you, NBA. This is the worst day in NBA history, and the darkest day in NBA history since the brawl. No, forget that. The darkest day in NBA history since the Pacers and the Knicks went to the club in New York that one time. Stop it.
I love the way it feels to be a hater.